take two. Here I'm with James Apol on the bow of White Cloud, Cookson 12M. Let's just go over the sprit and the reasons that there's no spinnaker pole on the boat.
Well, we have a spinnaker pole, we just haven't run it since the first year that we had it. We actually did run it on Transpac, but since then we haven't. We just wanted to simplify the boat, make it easier to run, a little more safer to run. And what we found is sort of with a modern asymmetrical spinnaker off of this sprit, we were getting plenty deep.
And you're running staysails behind it, so
yes.
It looks like you have two pad eyes for a spin staysail and is that a jib staysail?
Yeah, the spinnaker staysail runs off this pad eye, and the jib staysail runs off this one.
As we move back, we have, the boat has jack lines for all the offshore needs.
Yeah, we have jack lines that we run sort of along the deck here.
It's got a really nice tow rail on it. And then also one of the advantages on this sprit is, as the bowman, you're not really hanging out. You can do all the safety work within the pulpit there, which is really nice when the weather's up.
And these are James' feature. These are added jackline handholds.
Yeah, this was something we felt there was quite a bit of space in here with nothing to hold on to besides the lifeline. So we wanted to add that for sort of crew safety.
I think for any person who has to go forward using jack lines and just has to go up to the middle of the mast and doesn't want to clip to the rail, that's just a really nice feature.
Yep.
We got the
we've got all the sort of controls centralized here in the middle of the boat.
Yeah, let me get on the boat. Sorry, I have to go around the pillar. We'll get to the back of the boat here in a bit, and this thing, which is a game changer, centralized pit.
Centralized pit with bags that go along with it. You can easily run some of the lines down in the cabin if you want. We've got 3 jib tracks here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3.
Are they tied into the tracks tied into each other? On the one line does both these tracks?
No, separate lines.
Yeah.
Well, I mean these two. These two, I think, are on one.
Oh yeah, these are.
Yeah, those two. Yeah.
Thing, but the outboard lead is on its own. This is the kelp cutter.
We've got a kelp cutter, which is this was done by
Brad Fitzgerald. Right?
Brad Fitzgerald, yes, and you can see it's quite elegant the way it runs, sort of up through the cabin and down. So it's nice that you can access the kelp cutter from the cockpit. And here in Southern California, you really need a kelp cutter on your keel, as we've learned the hard way.
And this is a string cutter, which is sort of the new trend instead of a rod.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the trends, but works really well. We had actually started with a loop, where the line was one line in a loop, but we found we had quite a bit of twist. So this is just a matter of pulling it down and then pulling it up. And it works really well.
Anyone in Southern California appreciates that.
Yeah.
There is also a rudder cutter.
Yep, there's a rudder cutter where we started.
Which is once again a nice fitting feature because it's a G10 rod.
And here's the
not G10 ring. G10 top.
Yeah.
Having both of those gets you through the kelp, the kelp beds.
Yeah. Yeah, in Southern California, you really need it. You can
tell us why you did the wheel, because the boat came with a tiller.
The boat came with a tiller. This was I was new to offshore sailing, and we were rebuilding the boat, refitting the boat for the Transpac, and I just couldn't see myself on a tiller for 10 days. So that was a big sort of refit. The bearing is all brand new. The rudder itself is all brand new.
That's a Greg Stewart design.
Greg Stewart design, built by a carbon shop back in Rhode Island. So the wheel is all sort of high end. Also, we added this ring as a safety feature, which is a really important feature for the boat. So as you're going, sort of transitioning, the back of the boat, this is a place to hold on to. It's a place to clip into. Yeah, big safety feature.
Yeah, that's huge. And one of the questions is being on the runners, and the runners, of course, are important, but there is a beefy, oversized backstay on this boat too, right?
Yeah, that's something that we upgraded also, is we put a much bigger sort of fitting on the backstay. That gives us some insurance and a little bit of peace of mind during the jibe. So the mast isn't going to go anywhere if somebody fouls up on the runners on a jibe. It's going to be fine. So it just gives us a little more sort of cushion on the performance.
And you did the PV race with what, 3 people or 4 people?
We did it with 4, and we actually won our class with 4.
So it's definitely doable. We have
the boat actually works really well with 4.
Less people to feed. This is your life raft storage.
Yep.
And that's you just rent one, right?
No, we actually we have one. It's just in the locker now. I think it's probably just coming off of the 5 years.
It just needs to be recertified.
But it's brand new. That's not going with the boat though, but that's where it goes.
Someone could rent one. A lot of offshore racers rent one.
Yeah.
This locker here.
Yeah.
That's a lazarette for access to down the back part. Is that?
Yeah, it's just basically it's an empty spot down there. We didn't use it for anything except garbage sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have propane over here.
Propane over here. Yep.
It's a 1 full tank, right? Well, 1 big tank.
Correct. Well, 1 pretty small tank actually, but we ended up not doing a lot of sort of hot cooking.
Yeah, we know you had your secret sauce. These are self-tailing runners. The winches are self-tailers.
Yeah.
Harpins.
Yep.
A nice feature. One of the other nice things that a lot of boats have been doing these days is putting on this soft deck.
This has worked out really, really well. It's actually held up sort of better than I expected. And just one thing back here, Chris, also is we do have an autopilot on the boat just for delivery, which is a nice feature.
Is that the B&G?
Yeah.
Once again, all set up by Artie Means.
Yeah, Artie did all the electronics, including the alternator. So
I really like this centralized pit platform. Just makes things a lot easier for control. Your B&G displays here. Line bags, sheet bags, all important beer holders. What is this? This particular what would you call it?
Yeah, the piece of canvas is there to keep things from rolling back into the wheel well.
There you go. Does a pretty good job.
Yeah, so it keeps lines and other stuff. Sort of another feature is the it's a German sheeting system on the main sheet. So there's one line that goes on both sides.
Yeah, this goes forward to the boom.
Yep.
Basically takes away all that purchase and stuff. It's very controllable. Was developed out of the Admiral's Cup years ago by the Germans, and it just simplifies a lot of things than having just a massive amount of purchase in the back for someone to wheel in. And very
way on the stern here, so it keeps sort of people from having to be back there too. So, yeah.
Anything else you think is noteworthy?
No, I think you covered it well.
I think one thing that we try and stress on this is that this boat was built for Mr. Cookson. It is a very, very well built, solid offshore racer. with a ton of potential. Certainly for Transpac next year, you would need very little and you'd be ready to go. This boat is essentially turnkey. It's the White Cloud Cookson 12 meter. Contact me for details. I'll put all the info in the link description. Thanks.